Hello, parents and guardians. My name is Lindsay Geraghty, and I will be your students' Introduction to Psychology teacher this year. And even though we are separated physically, we're still very much building community already in the class. Your students are already receiving feedback on their work, and we're on track this first unit, already diving deep into content and also getting to know each other. So here's a little bit about the course. First, my educational background. I grew up in the northern suburbs and then attended the U of I in Urbana-Champaign for my bachelor's and master's. I started working while going to night school to become a teacher, and after student teaching in 2005, I accepted the position at LT, and I've been here ever since. So this is going into my 16th year now. And here are my littles. My husband and I have two boys. Patrick is 5 and Tom is 3, and they are in preschool and kindergarten this year. So that's just a little window into my world. They will one day walk through the doors at LT as students, and I'm proud to live in this district and to serve and care for the young adults that are your children. So here's a little bit more about the course. So here's some of the topics of the course. It's a great way of getting a foundation for either taking AP Psychology as a senior, if your student is currently a junior, or for getting just a taste of what psychology is all about from, maybe taking a course in college later. In this course, we focus on the development of skills that a researcher would need in the behavioral sciences. So those include research methodology and applying concepts to scenarios in society, and also analyzing research with evidence. So students will be using really their own ideas for applying research to real life and to the world around them to make it very relevant. So even though we're learning remotely, students will be exploring the same demonstrations that we would do if we were in the classroom. So this is a picture of a demonstration of 4 jelly sandwiches. I normally bring the ingredients for the sandwiches to school and ask student volunteers to come up to make them. Some students have time limits. All of them get clapping, and some have bread that are in pieces or are intact. And to modify, I asked, this was done just this past week, I asked 4 volunteers at home to go get the ingredients and to bring them in front of their computer to create the sandwiches for us virtually. And it was fantastic. The students had fun watching and clapping while the volunteers created the jelly sandwich. Students were then able to predict which conditions represented the biological, psychological, and social influences of our behaviors. Or in this case, the bread was the biological, the time limit was the psychological, and the clapping was the social that influenced the sandwiches. It was a great way for students to see that we have a complex mixture of factors that influence our every move, and that our story really isn't complete, that the change of any one of these factors, for instance, means that we can take control and improve our sandwich really at any point in our lives. So that was just an example of a demo that we did last week. So the main goal of this course is for students to really feel like they belong. That's the main goal, that they're embraced for who they are and that their learning is fully supported. The course becomes then about them, their place in the world, and where they can see research applied all around them. With that, we try to encourage having the qualities of a scientist. And that includes being curious, asking the right questions, and also being humble enough that if you hypothesize one thing and it doesn't turn out to be what you had predicted, that you are able to start again. And remote class is a unique opportunity to organize ourselves in a whole new way. And each day I ask students to get their workspace ready and to show that classroom etiquette, because virtual learning and virtual work groups are likely to be part of the norm as they go into the working world. So this is relevant for them to be part of a team that might work from home or might need to have a virtual meeting or even an interview. So we're nurturing those skills that will benefit students as they move forward past high school. The grading for this course is based on 3 major learning objectives or skills. So students will see feedback on Canvas and Infinite Campus in the form of letter grades rather than points and percentages. The letter grades are based on rubrics of 5 levels of reaching targeted learning objectives. So for formative tasks that are all practice, you will see letter grades, but they will be listed as formative so that you will know that they are practice. Summative tasks will be labeled as such so that you will know that those will be considered for the overall grade. So then in order to determine the overall grade for the class without using points and without using percentages, we use the most recent trend of performance for each skill. So if the students are struggling at the beginning, but then grow and succeed later, then their most recent trend of performance will be considered for their grade for that particular skill. As you can see here, step 1 occurs to consider the most recent trend in performance, and then step 2 occurs to reach the overall grade for the course. So if you ever would like to know what a student's projected total grade is without seeing a number or percentage, you can look at their recent trends of summative grades and see where they fall on this grading guide. We have found that this approach accurately shows what students know and can do, and also gives them the chance to keep growing in the 3 skills of the course and not get penalized for the growth process that's needed to get to those targets. The daily agenda on our Canvas homepage is here, and each day the plan for the day will be listed, and all the activities and documents will be hyperlinked if your student needs to submit something. They can also check feedback that I give to them about their performances, and they can have the chance to revise and redo. So this is really a one-stop shop for everything that they might need to do on a daily basis, and they don't have to go searching for where assignments are or anything because it's always listed in the plan for the day and then before the next class. So there's a little introduction to psychology. This is undoubtedly going to be a unique year, and I am committed to helping your students learn this material in a way that engages them with their classmates and also engages them in their home environment. Please feel free to reach out to me at any point this school year. Thank you so much.